All right, it's a lovely Wednesday evening, and welcome to Ubuntu channel, or simply put, welcome to Meet Your Leaders on your favorite online TV, that is Ubuntu channel Zambia. And I am your host, Lance Sanibanda. This evening, of course, hosting one great son of the soil that has done so much for, Mother Zambia in terms of the fight against corruption, talking about the fight for democracy, as well as just looking at Zambia attaining all the tenets of democracy and getting the title of Zambia is a democratic country. Of course, this evening discussing a very important topic of, has the fight against corruption in Zambia ever been genuine? Time and again, we've seen different governments coming and out, going out. We've seen different political parties come through to the helm of power of Mother Zambia, all of them preaching the fight against corruption. But the question still remains, has the fight against corruption been genuine right here in Mother Zambia? That is what we are discussing this particular evening. And my guest is none other than Gregory Chifire, who is the Executive Director for Southern Africa Network Against Corruption, simply put, SANAC. Mr. Chifire, good evening. Welcome to the program. Good to have you. Mr. Chifire, are you able to hear me? Okay, if you can unmute yourself, you've muted yourself. Good evening and welcome to the program. This is your first time featuring on the program, or featuring on Ubuntu channel. All right, we seem to be having some connectivity challenges right there. And then, hey, as you know, internet sometimes can be what it gets to be, but we still get to continue with the program right here. As you know, that every Wednesday we get to bring you this exciting program where we get to talk about governance issues. We get to engage you, our lovely viewer, so that you can be a part of the program, like be a part of the governance of this country, be a part of making sure that we get to grow Mother Zambia to what it is supposed to be. Obviously, I am talking about you taking a front row, you taking a very positive and active role in seeing to it that Zambia develops in each and every sector, in the production sector, in the economic sector, like each and every sector that gets to develop Mother Zambia. We want you, and definitely you, our viewer, to get in the front row, to get on the front row, be the one that is vocal and in the forefront to talk about or to push the agenda of developing Mother Zambia. We have to move from that tag of a developing nation to a developed nation. And obviously, there are SDGs that have been put across to see to it that at least by 2090 or 20 something, Zambia should be a developed nation and move away from the tag of it being called a developing nation, or maybe moved from a tag which is called like we are a poor country. We need to move away from that. Reason being this, or for us to move from that, all of us have to take a stance. All of us have to, take part in making sure that the governance of this country is right. The tenets of democracy are being followed. Also, as well as looking at governance of this country is top notch and moving in the right direction. Remember, this is Meet Your Leaders on Ubuntu channel, and our topic of discussion this particular evening is: has the fight against corruption in Zambia ever been genuine? Each and every party or government that comes into power preaches about the fight against corruption. Obviously, in 1990, we had the likes of the MMD under the leadership of Chiluba trying to they came on the scene to say they are going to fight corruption because they are bringing a multi-party democracy and all this and that. Obviously, we saw the MMD taking that stance of fighting corruption, and we saw how the regime of UNIP, how they were tried in the courts of law against corruption and all this and that. And then also moving further, the same MMD, obviously in 2006, we saw at the helm of Levi Patrick Mwanawasa when he came and tried his predecessor, the founder or maybe the first president of the MMD, Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, Frederick Titus Chiluba, the late, being tried in the courts of law against corruption and all this and that. Was that fight genuine? Is the corruption fight genuine in this country, in Mother Zambia? Of course, 2008, after the demise of our late president, Levi Patrick Mwanawasa, we saw MMD and the country being taken helm by former, again, unfortunately, former president by the name of Rupia Bwezani Banda, who also took on the fight against corruption and tried, former ministers in the government of Levi Patrick Mwanawasa, and then also moving further, like the trends continues just like that, where we have these different people or different leaders and different parties coming in and get to talk about the fight against corruption or fighting corruption. All right. So this evening, my guest on the program is Gregory Chifire, who is the Executive Director for Southern Africa Network Against Corruption, SANAC, who seems to be having some internet challenges here and there. But also, we would love you, our viewers, to obviously come through and, just get to put through your perspective, what you think. Like, what is your answer to our question? Has the fight against corruption ever been genuine in Zambia? Since the time it started in 1991 up to now, has this fight against corruption been genuine? Is it genuine? Currently, the new Dawn administration is fighting corruption. All right. Is it genuine? Is that fight genuine? Are they fighting it in their administration? Are they fighting also corruption, which has been purported to have happened in the previous regime? So these are the things that we're looking at, and obviously these are the little flagships that we're trying to look at and get to see on how we can answer this simple question. And seems like my guest is back on. Hopefully, this time around, we'll be able to communicate. Mr. Chifire, good evening and welcome back. Okay, Mr. Chifire, are you able to hear me? Mr. Chifire, are you able to hear me? Hmm. Well, seems like my guest still continues to, have some internet challenges right here and there. But obviously, trying our best to get him back and just get to have him get to, be part of the program and get to share, his experience because. this is one great son of the soil that has been there, that has seen regimes come and go, in this quest of fighting corruption and everything to do with that. And at some point, because of him being vocal against, corruption in a regime, he was forced to seek asylum in South Africa because the regime at that time was not too friendly with him and did not like the way he was coming out and everything to do with that. I remember him being taken to court in his absentia, and a judgment was passed in his absentia where he was supposed to serve, time in jail and all this and that. So he has a great story to tell and definitely has great experience when it comes to this fight against corruption. But as we're trying to bring back our guest, if we can go on a short break and then I don't know. Anyway, my director will guide if we can go on a break, and then when we get to come back, obviously we'll be able to have my guest in the studio, or we can still maybe continue while he's in the studio, try to get him back, so that we can get to have this particular interaction. But again, we also want you, our dear viewer, to come through also via the comments section. And director, after the break, please share the studio link so that those that are willing to join us into the studio can join us as quickly as possible and just express their view on our topic of discussion. But for now, let's get to take a quick short break and then we'll be back on the other side. Remember, this is Ubuntu Channel.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes.
said.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. In as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay.
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No, foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time twaje ku Malabo was the first game twale tena wa Senegal. I think very tutasana underrated because even the warm up, you can see the way they are doing warm up. Bale munakati bona na bawina kale no.
It's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem. Who to replace when one is injured?
The names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I welcomed them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalung.
From it, we can't make the Bible fit us and have things that make Esther feel good, and things that Esther doesn't really feel good about, she'll edit out.
We're trying to represent Zambia from a different side of things. We just don't want to be regular, you know what I'm saying? We try to package ourselves to Africa and the world.
Ubuntu is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshira iyo abantu basenderamu ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba n'efyo afwiri okukita n'efyo afwiri okwikaliramu Ubuntu.
Chitemiko, Ubuntu Mutende.
Ubuntu nikukhala pamoja. Ubuntu nikusamala. Ubuntu nikukondana.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes, I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has
Welcome back, and thank you so much for still staying with us. You are watching Meet Your Leaders on Ubuntu channel right here, and I am your host, Lansani Banda. And of course, this evening, according to the program, we're supposed to discuss has the fight against corruption ever been genuine in Zambia. And my guest was Gregory Chifire, who is SANAC executive director, or maybe in full being put as in Southern Africa. Okay, yeah. Anyway, just stepped somewhere. But we do apologize that unfortunately we can't bring back Mr. Chifire tonight or this evening for the program. This is due to network challenges that he is facing. Apparently, currently there's no network in his area. It has completely gone. We can't even get him on phone. So unfortunately, we have to apologize and maybe just get to reschedule with him. We do sincerely apologize for this inconvenience caused, and to you, our viewers, to everybody that this program was advertised to, we sincerely apologize. But please bear with us as we get to bring him back next Wednesday, and we shall make sure that we get to have him and everything is going to be put in place. From Ubuntu channel, we also apologize due to this circumstance. We cannot continue with the program as this is a topic that this is a topic that can only be tackled by a professional. Well, we may try to make commentaries here and there, but we're not professionals, and in that vein in terms of the fight against corruption and stuff. So we can only have professional people that are vested to talk about this issue. So unfortunately, this is where we have to end our program. Sincere apologies, or 1,000 apologies, but we promise to bring back Mr. Chifire next week Wednesday. So please make a date with us next week Wednesday, 20 hours. We are here with Mr. Chifire to discuss this same topic, as we want you, our followers, to make sure that at least you are engaged and get to know where we are in terms of the fight against corruption. I've been your host, yours truly, Lance Sanibanda, and on behalf of my director as well as my producer this evening, Emmanuel Nkunika, and the entire production crew of Ubuntu channel, we say thank you, have a lovely good evening, and please take care of yourself, more so of one another. Good evening. Well, it appears we are still here. Anyway, it appears that we are still here as we're waiting for my director to come back.